Chapter 3 Bad News. When Miss Cruz walks into our music classroom on Monday, I can tell something is wrong. For one thing, she isn't smiling. And for another, she's wearing a suit. I've never seen her in one, and I hardly recognize her. Then I notice that she's wearing a t-shirt that says, "Music is magic," under her blazer, and I smile to myself. "Good afternoon, students," she says, without her usual smile. Audrey raises his hand. "Miss Cruz," he says, "is something wrong?" "Well," she says, "I have some bad news. I just came from a meeting at the school district offices. They're cutting budgets across the county, and they've decided to cut the funds from the elementary music programs." "No way," I say. "That's not fair," says Audrey. Everyone in the class starts talking at once. "What does that mean for us?" Valeria asks. "Will we still get to do our show?" "What does it mean for you?" I ask Miss Cruz. "Will you lose your job?" Miss Cruz has tears in her eyes. I've never seen a teacher cry before, and I feel worried. "Don't worry about me. The show must go on, or in our case, the concert. I want us to go out with a bang," Miss Cruz says, lifting up her chin. "I have a question," I say, raising my hand. "Isn't there anything we can do? Fundraise, protest, sign petitions?" Miss Cruz looks at me and smiles for the first time. "Thanks for your suggestion, Sarai." The answer is maybe. Maybe isn't a real answer, I think to myself. It's usually what adults say when they really mean no, but don't want to tell you. But Miss Cruz isn't done. "I'm going to try and get on the agenda for this month's PTA meeting," she says. "I can't help with that," I say. "I know the president of the Parent Teacher Association. He happens to be my dad, Juan Carlos Gonzalez. My dad is super involved with our school and also Josie's school for deaf and hearing impaired children. Ever since Josie was born with a heart condition, my dad has stayed at home with her and us. My mom works outside the house for a hospital. My sister Josie has had lots of struggles with her health, but she never gives up, and neither we do. We are the Gonzalez family, 5, and we fight for what we believe in. Right now, I believe that our music program is worth fighting for." "You'll see," I tell Miss Cruz. "Everything is going to be all right. The PTA won't let us down." "Okay, Sarai," Miss Cruz says. "I'll talk to your father about getting on the agenda, and I'll see what I can do. We should all be thinking about what we can do because this music program belongs to each and every one of us." "I agree," says Audrey. "Me too," says Christina. "Thanks for your enthusiasm, students," Miss Cruz says. "Let's feel the beat of the music, my charming creatives." Now she sounds like the Miss Cruz I'm used to, I think, and I'm relieved. After school, I can't stop fidgeting. I walk back and forth in our family room and I can't sit still long enough to work on my homework. "What's wrong, Miss Trelia?" Tata asked me. "My grandpa watches my sister and me after school every day until my father gets home with Josie. I love that he's always waiting on the porch when we get off the bus. I also love that he calls me his Estrella, his star. But today I can't think about anything except our music program." "When are Dad and Josie going to get home?" I said. "It's almost 5 o'clock. Can I call him?" "Sarai, Josie had speech therapy after school today. And you know your dad and Josie have a long drive home. We don't call anyone who's driving unless it's an emergency." "It's an emergency," I think. But I've explained the situation to Tata, and he doesn't seem too worried. It will all work out, he promises. It will, says Lucia confidently. She likes Miss Cruz too, even though she hasn't had her as a teacher yet. I told Miss Cruz about how Lucia is obsessed with Hawaii, and the next day Miss Cruz brought a ukulele, an instrument that looked like a little guitar. I brought Lucia into the music room at recess, and Miss Cruz explained that the ukulele originated in Hawaii in the 19th century, inspired by instruments brought by Portuguese immigrants. Then she played a Hawaiian song for Lucia, who was so excited she could hardly talk. Finally, I hear the minivan in the driveway. I meet Dad and Josie at the door. Dad, I say, I need your help. Are you sure you don't need your mom's help? He says, joking, because she'll be home in a minute. No, I need your help because you are the PTA president, I say. And then I explain to him what's going on with our music program. Dad frowns when I tell him, which isn't a good sign. Sarai, he says, our PTA struggles to fund the programs we already sponsor. You know, the students at our school don't come from wealthy families. You can fundraise, I say, but there's a limit to how much struggling families can donate. Dad explains. Then let's do a petition that doesn't cost anything or a letter writing campaign, I say. That's an interesting idea, Dad says. Can you at least put Miss Cruz on the agenda? She's one of the best teachers I've ever had, and she might lose her job. That I can do, Dad says. I'll email her first thing tomorrow morning. Okay, I say. Can I come to the meeting? It's called the Parent-Teacher Association, not Parent-Teacher-Student Association, Dad says. Then you don't mind if I do my own thing? I ask Dad. I'm almost afraid to ask what doing your own things means. Dad says. To be honest, I'm not sure what my own thing means just yet, but I will. I just need a plan.